Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Well, I don't even really know how to make this video. I've been thinking about it for days and I keep trying and it keeps starting, but yeah, it's been a hell of a, I think it's been 8 or 9 days since the end of the last video where you guys saw Alex and I in Snow Lake. After we evacuated from Flin Flon, we just hunkered down and we went camping. We thought that well, I don't know really what we thought. We thought maybe we'd be going back within a week. Denair wasn't being threatened at the time. The fire was right outside Flin Flon and Creighton. They were definitely under threat. But then Monday, it all changed. It all changed. So what happened on Monday? Well, the wind shifted and we are talking, I think there were like 60-kilometer-an-hour winds and gusting up from there. And over the next 30 hours, that had the effect of blowing the Wolf Fire, which is not the one that was close to Flin Flon, blew it right over Amisk Lake, right over Missy Island. It jumped the lake onto Missy Island. It's jumped off the other side of the island and ran right over Denair Beach. And I think they estimated something like 70% of the houses were lost. Now, I'm not exactly sure if it's 70%, but in my mind, that's just the number that came out. Well, right in the path of that destruction was my property. I didn't make it. I lost my house. I lost my garage. And we also lost, I had, as you remember in the channel, I just bought a trailer and I have a motorcycle that we weren't allowed to take any of that when they called the evacuation, and it all burnt. There's I'll show you the video. It's ash. There's nothing left. Well, here it is. This is my property in Denair. What's left of it anyway. Like one garden box survived back there. In the middle of the ash there, you probably don't recognize it, but there's the, my motorcycle was there. The trailer was sitting up in front of the garage. It burnt. And coming into the view in the background there, that was my house. There's the trailer again. My lawnmower, oh yeah, look at it all. My canoe, brand new kayak that I didn't even get to try. At least Alex got to try it once. It's a little surreal. I'm not gonna lie, looking at this, a little surreal, and I'm not sure if I should be having more of an emotional response than I am, but it's where we are today anyway. That's my property. And to be perfectly honest, I don't even know what I should feel like. Obviously, I'm not the only person in this situation. A lot of people are definitely expressing a sense of loss, and with good cause. But myself, I don't know. Like I think I would feel a lot worse if I had lost my van, but losing the house, like, yeah, no, it's crappy. That was, that was my kid's grandmother's house. My kids grew up there. So yeah, no, it's definitely sad that it's lost, but given the way I live my life at this time, it feels a lot like freedom right now. Tell you that much. And there's definitely some material possessions lost, but really, I have everything I need. I no longer have to take into consideration renovations that I was going to have to do on my house. Cleaning up the garage was going to be a big project, and I don't have to do that anymore. So I don't know. Maybe it'll hit me later. Maybe I'm just numb at the moment, and maybe when I actually go there and see it, maybe I don't know. But we made it out safe. So we got that news Tuesday that we'd lost the house, which is unfortunate. So then Wednesday morning, I wake up and I got a text on my phone from Alex's mother, Florence. And she had been evacuated. She was working up Inland Lake, which is even farther north of Thompson. And she was at a layover in Thompson to fly out the next day to Saskatchewan. But she lost her wallet. So she's stuck in Thompson. She has no money. She can't get on the plane because she has no ID. So I wake Alex up. I explain the situation to him, and he decides he's going to sleep in the tent. And I'm going to go pick up his mom. Thompson's only 2 hours away from Snow Lake. So there I am, 6 in the morning, I take off for Thompson. I'm gonna go rescue Alex's mother from a little bit of a pickle she's in. No sooner do I get to Thompson than Alex is phoning. They're evacuating Snow Lake. More specifically, they're evacuating the campground at Wekusko Falls. The actual evacuation of Snow Lake didn't come for 3 or 4 hours later. So there I am, yet again. Within not even a week later, I'm rushing back towards a forest fire approaching a community to pick up my son. But in hindsight, really, I shouldn't have left him there. So no sooner do we hit the road and get on the highway, the van all of a sudden loses power, and it's barely got enough get up and go to keep up highway speed. As long as we're on a flat ground, we're doing about 90 kilometers an hour, and that is it. If the engine gets over 200 RPMs, the whole van just started shaking and shaking. And well, then we get to the number 6 turnoff, like I said, and we pull over. So like, okay, we're gonna have some lunch, and we're gonna take a look at the van. So I pull out my scan tool. First thing I did was I checked the air cleaner, make sure it wasn't all bunged up with ash. We have been running around forest fires, but that was clean. Pull out the scanner, hook it up. Scanner says there is an open circuit condition on injector number 5. Basically, my van's only 6 cylinders to begin with, but now I'm down 1 cylinder, hence the no power. But what are we gonna do? We're running from a forest fire. So I decided anyway, we're going to detour Thompson. It's only 45 minutes away, and there's a Ford dealership there. Off we go, Thompson bound. Which was kind of a good choice, because as we're on the way to Thompson, Alex's mother, Flo, had found on some Facebook marketplace type site for Thompson that somebody had found her wallet. And, well, they had connected, and we were on our way, we were going to return it. Plus, she had got called back to work. They were going back to work. She works as part of a camp where they take care of the accommodations for the firefighters. So everybody all got called back to work. So as we're heading towards Thompson, like I said, Flo got called back to work, except the thing is she had to stay a night and then get on an airplane. So she didn't really have anywhere to stay in Thompson. So Alex and I just grabbed a campground outside of Thompson, and we set up the tent, and we camped for a night, which I don't know, some of you that know me probably are realizing, I don't know how you gotta appreciate this situation. Like Alex's mother and I, our breakup was not good at all. Very painful for everybody involved. I think it's a bit of a testament that here we are 3.5, 4 years later, and we're at least able to have a good enough relationship that we can help each other out. So we spent the night at this lake. The next day we wake up, we head into town, and again, the van still running like a bag of crap. Did not want to stay running, just putting along, could barely make it uphill. Well, we limp her into Thompson. We pick up Flo's wallet, we drop her off with her fire crew, and Alex and I take a minute just to regroup. I phoned the Ford dealership, and an injector, which is the most common problem for this issue, is 5 days away. And I do not have 5 days to wait in Thompson. We're running from forest fires as it is. They didn't have an appointment to work on my vehicle anyway, and it's under warranty. So we filled the van up with premium fuel. We dumped in 1.5 times as much carb cleaner or fuel injector cleaner as I recommended for a tank of fuel. And we limped her off on the road. All we knew is that we had to get away from these forest fires, and that it'd be a busy road. There'd be lots of people there if the van actually did break down. But 4 hours later, by the time we got to Mafeking, the injector cleaner had worked. Maybe maybe I'd gotten some bad fuel, and it clogged the injector momentarily, but the van's been running fine ever since. We made her to Saskatchewan, no problem. So like I said, we made it to Saskatoon. Got Alex home safely to his girlfriend, which I'm sure Cadence is very happy. And we're finally out of danger. Flo had gotten back to work up in Lynn Lake, Leaf Rapids, somewhere around there. I'm not exactly sure. And I hunkered down at Walmart for 2 days straight, and I just sat there and tried to process. And still, I was waiting for, like, I don't know what I expected. Would I break down and cry? Was I going to be that upset about it? I don't know. Nothing came. At any rate, nothing came. I consumed a lot of alcohol. I'm not going to lie. For 2 days straight, I consumed a lot of alcohol. I smoked a lot of pot. Not something I like to do when I'm parked at Walmart, but whatever. And then I went camping. I came out to Pike Lake here is where I am right now. My youngest daughter came out. We played some Beat Saber. She came out and stayed for 2 nights. My oldest daughter and my grandson came out and spent a day with us, and that's where we are right now. So, I mean, that's as far as the update goes. I lost my house. I lost it all. I'm actually not too worried about it as of this moment, but we'll see how that pans out. In case you haven't guessed, while I was doing story time, I am building a cabinet for my propane tank. Since it's all I got left, it's time I start investing in upgrading some safety items in the van, and one is that the propane tank is not in an actual sealed cabinet. So I bought some pine project boards. They're 12 inches wide, which is going to be perfect for the propane tank. I don't know. And that's what we're doing. Nothing too fancy going on here, as you can see. Just using a Craig jig, make pocket holes, and assembling a box. We used wood glue along the seams which will be the strong joint, and the Craig screws just kind of add to it a little bit. We used a lot just to make sure that we got all the edges held together and that it doesn't move, because we are going to silicone it up and make it gas proof, I guess. Nice piano hinge for the bottom. There's my propane box. Other than I have to, once it's installed, drill a hole through, and I'll put a piece of PVC pipe down out through the bottom of the van. I should probably put a little piece of wood back here. These screws went through, but gotta use what's on hand, and I've got to seal this up with silicone. Put the foam tape all in here. And there it is. I also got to put the plumbing in. There's a regulator valve that has to go back here. Right, and the hose goes in, and have that all sealed. And there we are, propane box. All right, well, I'm gonna get this all cleaned up. This is gonna be a tomorrow project to finish because I have the wrong clasp. Plus, I have to figure out where to drill through the van, and I have to go buy a hole saw that'll go through wood and metal, and plus get a pipe to fit in there. And I think I'm gonna get some spray foam to seal that pipe in, so the pipe will drop down below the van. That way, if there's leaks out the propane tank, that will just go right out and vent right outside, and that's how you keep yourself safe. All right, we're gonna call this the end of the video. There's a little bit more left to do, obviously, like I said, but we'll get to that in another video. Just siliconing it up in the background right now. But I do want to take a moment and just, again, say thanks to everybody that's been reached out and keeping touch with me and keeping track of where I am and how I'm doing. That's been awesome. I know this is trying times for everybody, and I don't know. I just appreciate that I have friends that reached out and make sure I'm okay. So, till next time, again, everyone, just stay safe and make sure you're enjoying life. You never know when life changes. So, enjoy it while you have it. All right, guys. We'll catch you later.